I met Gary Vee the other day. I'm just kidding. I wish I did, but if I did, I think this is how it would go. It would go like this. Oh, hey, Gary Vee, what's up, man? I'm a huge fan. Nice to meet you. Are you really a huge fan? What do you know about me? You just know I'm successful and I make a lot of money and I have a lot of companies, huh? You think you're some kind of smart guy? I was like, no, man, I'm just, I'm just a huge fan. I just wanted to, say the hello. And what do you want, a fucking picture? No, I was just kind of saying, I like the content. I like the stuff that you're talking about. No, but you really don't fucking get it. You got to do all the cocaine you can, and then eventually you suck all the dicks in Manhattan, and then you come back and talk to me when you want to be successful, okay? How does that sound? Yeah, I mean, I didn't even really have a question about being successful or anything. I was just kind of like saying what's up, because you seem like a very approachable guy in your content. He's like, no, but that's content. That's online, motherfucker. You don't get it. I've done so much cocaine in the past 20 years that I don't even know if I'm a fucking real person. I think I was literally put here on this earth to fucking tell people that they need to buy Bitcoin and they need to start making more content. Make more content. You got to make more content. You want to be rich? You want to be famous? Huh? Everybody wants that. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be rich and famous. Everybody wants a BBL. But nobody wants to put in the fucking work. Nobody wants to put in the fucking work all the time. Everybody wants to fucking post on Instagram and be like, look at my new watch. Nobody gives a fuck about your new watch. I own a fucking 7-figure marketing company and I suck my own dick at night. Do you think I give a fuck about your watch? No. Go buy your $6 latte. Kill yourself. Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go now, Gary Vee. My bad. And that, look, dude, about Gary Vee. I have the motherfucker's books. Like I have like 2 of the books. I have 2 of the books. And let me be honest, I didn't read them because I'm not like businessy enough to be like, yes, margins, What the fuck do I care about margins? Right? I don't give a fuck. But like, that's what I'm saying. Gary Vee in the beginning, like 2017, 18, when he was really gaining steam as like an online, like, business guy. I'm gonna teach you how to fucking 10x your business. You need to go on LinkedIn, Facebook, Marketplace, post pictures of your asshole and see how many people want to fuck your ass, and then you tell me what you want to be successful, okay? No, but I used to think that he was like right in some way. I used to be like, oh yeah, like maybe if I just do like start like start a shitty social media marketing company. How many friends do you have that have told you that they're going to start a social media marketing company? And in that moment, it takes everything inside of you to go. You just have to hold it back. You have to hold it in you. Are you okay? I'm like, oh my God, you're fucking retarded. They go, what do you mean? I'm just trying to, what do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? You want to be fucking successful? I was selling wine on the internet in 2003. Nobody was doing that. I had this 97% open rate on my email list. Nobody was doing that. Nobody. Talk to me now. Nobody was doing that. Everybody is following my playbook because it fucking works. Because it fucking works. You don't get it. I give all of these presentations, all of these talks, most of them for free. All of my content is free. And nobody's getting the message. It's like I'm a fucking annoying prick or something. I don't even know. It's like people just see through me. He starts getting all like meta. He's like, I don't even know. Like, what the fuck? I'm just trying my hardest to give people the information and nobody wants to fucking take it. Go Jets. Go Jets. Fuck you. Fuck the Jets too, honestly, But that's one thing that like is really exhausting about being a person right now is everybody telling you what you need to do. Because let's say this was the 1950s, right? And let me be clear, before we get on to the 1950s things, let me be clear. Here at Loose Ends, I will never tell you what the fuck to do. I just want you to be yourself. Don't be a trend chaser. Don't fucking, be who you are, and people will come to like you naturally unless you're a sociopath. Now, look, if you're a sociopath and you're listening to the show, hi, please don't kill me. If you're from the Church of Scientology, hi, please don't kill me. I was just, last week I was just trying to figure, I needed answers to my own questions, dude. And I didn't say anything derogatory about the organization. I didn't say that they're fucking crazy. I didn't say that they're loony. I didn't use any words like that. I was just asking questions, okay? So that's all I got to say about that. But back in the 1950s, okay, all you had to deal with was like 2 or 3 people telling you what you needed to do when you like left high school. And then they were like, all right, well, look, son, you ready to come to work with me, with your old man? And you go, fuck. How else am I gonna afford this house that's $36,000? Yeah, fuck it. I'll make $6 an hour, and then then 40 years of your life went by. Next thing you wake up, you retire. A year later, you're dead of a heart attack, and that's just kind of how it went. And now it's like if you are on any platform whatsoever, there's constantly people telling you what you need to do. You know what you need to do? You need to go get a fucking FHA loan, dude. 3.5% down. You need to go get a fucking duplex. And then once you get a duplex, you're going to get a fucking triplex. And then once you get a triplex, you're going to get a fucking quadrupleplex. Quadplex. You're going to get a fucking quadrupleplex. After that, dude, you're going to start renting them all out. Mostly you're going to rent them all out to people that, you're going to take advantage of over the next 20 years because they really have nowhere else to go. And, that's how you're going to do it. That's how you're going to build wealth in America. You want to know how you're going to build wealth in America? By overcharging people for housing. That's how you're going to fucking build wealth in America, okay? Or there'll be like another one be like, dude, I think I'm onto something here with this meme coin. Dude, I think I found a meme coin. I think I found the next meme coin. It's going to blow. And you go, what's it called? He's like, it's called fuck her ass coin. And you're like, what? And he's like, yeah, it's like the coin that like you give to if you want to fuck someone's ass, you just like send it to them and then like they know that you want to fuck their ass. And you go, I think you're gay. I think you're gay. Why do you know about that coin? No, you don't have to be gay to fuck asses, but you do have to be. No judgment around here. I'm not a religious man, but we got a new pope, ladies and gentlemen. We got a new fucking pope, and apparently he's American. Whatever. Look, I'm not religious enough to like buy into the shit and be like, oh, wow, he's American. Wow. How impressive is that? I'm American. Could I be the Pope? Who gives a fuck? Like we're supposed to be excited. Oh, he's American. Why are we excited about that? The world hates all of us. Why are we excited that he's American? But you want to know why you're not fucking successful? You want to know, you really want to know why? Gary Vee just walks into a Starbucks and he sees a homeless guy. He looks over at him. He goes, you want to know why you're not very successful? Because you're not getting quality sleep. You gotta get a good 8 hours if you want to be successful one day, man. And the guy's like, I've slept under the Lincoln Tunnel for the past 15 years. He goes, no, but you don't get it, man. Like you just got to start marketing yourself, bro. It's all about marketing. You just got to market yourself. You got to market yourself as much as possible, dude. The guy's like, I don't even have a phone. I don't even have a cracker. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at people that have less. Okay. Don't get it twisted, dude. I'm a nice, empathetic young man. And I have, and let me tell you one thing about myself, dude. My balls and my dick are not proportionate to each other at all. And I will never, ever, ever let anybody find out which one is not proportionate to the other. And that's a secret I'm willing to keep with myself, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. I will, dude, if they crucified me tomorrow like Jesus and they hung me up there all butt naked, I would literally find a way in my death, in the afterlife, to cover my dick and balls so that the mystery remains. But just know, dude, that my dick and balls are not proportional, and I'll let you do the work. I'll let you do that work. No, but yeah, I'm just very tired of like everyone telling me that I need to get into crypto or that I need to start selling houses, or maybe I need, you know what you need to do? You know what you need to do? You need to start another shitty fucking clothing brand. That's what you need to do. You need to start another brand that basically just rips off Hellstar and then sells you shit. That's what you need to do. You need to find a brand that uses almost the exact same graphic images as like as like name any notable brand, and then just changes the name of the company, and then that's their shirt. And they go, yo, new fall winter just dropped. It's fucking April. And you're like, all right. Well, hey, man, you don't even know the season, so why would I buy clothes from you? And look, I'm not being judgmental today. I'm actually being a nice guy. But things confuse me, man. And I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I feel like we're getting so much mixed messaging on like, on social media and even like through the media is like, oh, like, dude, you know what you need to do? You need to go back to school. Southern New Hampshire University is actually, willing to take all of your money to get a meaningless degree. So if you're willing to do that and you kind of ran out of chances on life and you feel like you have no other option, why don't you come on over here to Southern New Hampshire University and, spend $80,000 getting a degree that'll maybe earn you an extra $11,000 a year. I don't know. Maybe go off. I don't even know what I'm talking about, man, but thank you for being here. I know I didn't even do an intro. This is Loose Ends with Robert Hernandez. Yes, you know the whole thing. Episode 26. You know what the fuck it is. I'm back. I'm alive. Scientology didn't get me yet. I'm still here. There could be a sniper aiming down at me through my window right now, and I would never know. But I'm just saying, for this moment, for right here, for right now, I'm here. I'm here, and I'm alive, and I'm fighting the power. I'm fighting the powers that be. Specifically the Church of Scientology and big soybean oil. That's who I'm going after right now. I'm going after Scientology and I'm going after the big soybean oil conglomerates. I don't even know what that word means. But that's the thing too, is like they tell you, oh yeah, dude, you got to avoid seed oils. Don't eat seed oils. Bruh. You don't think every time I go and order a motherfucking box combo at Cane's that... Okay, wait. I lied. Sorry. You don't think every time I go to Cane's and order a Caniac combo... I'm a motherfucking Caniac. When I get to the window at Cane's, I pull up and they go, hey, chicken. There's always like a sassy black girl or the gayest white guy you've ever seen. Go, chicken. Which combo you picking, Snicker? You go, what? Which combo you picking? Huh? I want to pick you little fucker. No, but... when they walk up to my window and they do that, they go, chicken, which combo you picking? I go, I'm a motherfucking Caniac, bruh. I need that motherfucking 6-piece tender with the motherfucking well-done fries, and let me fucking yeet that coleslaw. Get that shit the fuck out of my face, bro. I'm not a fucking... What do I look like to you? An inmate? I don't eat coleslaw. What the fuck even is that, bro? I need my I go like this. I go, look, man, I already told you, brother. I'm a motherfucking Caniac. You pull up to the Cane's window, you go, chicken. Which combo you picking? You go, and you start barking. I'm a motherfucking Caniac, bro. I'm a Caniac right now, bro. He goes, oh, you're a Caniac? He gets all like kind of sensual and shit. He goes, oh, ooh, what a big, strong Caniac you are. Ooh, I just want to lather you up in motherfucking soybean oil and cane sauce and fucking lick you down. You go, I'm a motherfucking Caniac, bro. Let me get the motherfucking... I'm in line of Cane's. I'm like, man, I'm a fucking Caniac, bro. Let me out my cage, bro. I gotta get a fucking cage, bro. Fuck, man. I'm a Caniac. We're just having fun. We're just having fun, dude. I hope your life's going okay. I think a lot of you guys are young. I don't know the demographic. I don't have a big enough audience on YouTube to like see the demographics of the people that are listening yet. Okay. But what I will say is that I have a feeling that most of you guys are 35 to 25. There's might be a couple of 23, 24, hopefully nobody under 18. Absolutely not one person under 18 has ever listened to the show because I'm not a pedophile. So let's get that out the way. But no, I'm very curious about like the demographics of the show. I've seen the gender split and it is not pretty. Not a lot of ladies listening to the show. I think about two or three ladies listen to the show in total. But I'm very, I just want to say that I'm very thankful to the guy, to you people that do listen. If you are listening, if you make it this far into the episode and you're actually a down ass fool and you're willing to like, spend a couple of minutes with me throughout your day, that's really great. Like, honestly, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You make me fucking cream. You make me cream when you listen to my shit. So thank you so much. I do want to say that, as I've been putting out more and more of these, I'm feeling less and less like a fraud. So even though nobody's watching, I think the good thing that's happening in this is I do want to explain the concept of the show and why it came to be and why it's called Loose Ends. I don't think I've ever discussed why it's called Loose Ends. And I don't think at the time when I named it Loose Ends that it was something that I was going to eventually come and circle back to and be like, okay, I'm going to be honest. Eventually, this show is probably not going to exist. And I don't know when that's going to be. I'm not saying I'm going to quit the show, but what I am saying is that eventually the concept is going to wither up in my head, and I'm just going to be like, I need to do something new, right? It happens with me in everything. My job, my hobbies, motherfucking my ideas, everything. I'm just like constantly like, I'm trying to look for new ways to do things. And it's like, I'm understanding of the fact that one day there's going to be a day, I don't know when it will come, where I eventually decide that I need to do something differently, whether that's having a show where I have guests on, or maybe just having like a co-host or whatever, or just having a whole new show completely separate of this. That's cool too. But I do want to say that this has gotten me to a point where, you know, I feel the reason why the show is called Loose Ends is because I felt like, although I know that I'm good at this and that I want to do this, like for my life, like for my job and shit, eventually, I didn't feel very well equipped to do it. And I think obviously that a lot of that was like feelings of inexperience. And also I think the thing that's tough with podcasting is that when people hear that you have a podcast, they go, oh, well, who do you think you are? Fucking Joe Rogan? It's like, no, if I was Joe Rogan, I would be 5'8", wear fanny packs and be gay. I would be so gay that I hunt and shit. You know, that's the gayest thing you can do is hunt. And like, I feel like we've been psyoped into being like, no, like hunting's actually very manly. No, hunting's actually very gay. If you need to go kill an animal to feel like I'm a big, strong man and I fucking kill deer. I kill Bambi because I'm a big, strong man and I'll never let another man get near my butthole. You know, and it's like, dude, like when you tell people you have a podcast, they go, well, who do you think you are? Fucking Joe Rogan or fucking Theo Von? No, I'm not a retarded white guy or a little short, stubby Italian guy. You know, I'm different. I'm a completely different animal. So I feel like the tough thing about podcasting is that a lot of the really big, astronomically popular podcasts have become the, how do you say it? They have become the not gold standard, but they've become like the barometer of what you are doing if you have a podcast. Look, man, I do not have any interest in going like a political way or, you know, like I don't have any, like right now I do this simply out of the pure joy that it brings me and like the fun that I have making this for you guys. And even though there's like, you know, 50 of you guys that fucking listen to this shit, it's still growing. And it's like, that's very exciting for me. And I feel like when I post, clips and shit, sometimes I get down on myself because like people don't like it, or I feel like, oh, like this person watched it. Like, first of all, I need to stop being a sociopath and looking at who watches my fucking stories, you know, like who gives a fuck? That's the thing is like, I know that a lot of you guys are just mindlessly clicking through this shit, like, you know, trying to get to the next ad or whatever. But like, I think as I've been doing this more and I feel more comfortable doing it, I'm losing the fear that I used to have of like feeling like people are like, well, this guy's fucking lame as fuck. And it's like, who gives a fuck, dude? Like, you know? So like the reason why the show was called Loose Ends was because I felt like there was a couple of things that I wanted to get better at before I actually made the leap into the next thing, whatever that may be. I don't know what it is yet, but you know, like I felt like there was things that I needed to not only get over, but get better at, and things that I needed to practice and things that I needed to learn in order to eventually, you know, later down the road, feel like I can make something that's a little bit different from this, that has higher production value, or maybe has a better concept or whatever. Like I've been very explicit about the fact from the beginning that this show had no point. There's no point to this show. There's no idea. There's not a theme. There's no fucking, you know, I'm not asking you the same question every week, or, you know, or whatever. I'm like, there is no idea. This was basically throwing paint at the wall. Loose Ends is throwing paint at the wall. And eventually we're going to feel like, wow, we have a little mini masterpiece in front of us. And then it's going to be time to move on. But for now, I think we're doing a great job. We're building a little community. And I just wish you guys would comment more. So like, if you're listening right now, dude, just go comment on the YouTube or fucking on something, or like something, for the love of God, please. Because sometimes when I have bad days and then I post something and nobody like gives a fuck, or it feels like nobody gives a fuck, I then let that fuck with me. And it's like, I'm not begging for you guys to like, oh, come like what I make. But it's like, no, like I'm saying, like, if you're actually genuinely listening to this shit, I want you to actually be like, yeah, like I listened to it. That's cool. You know, which I know I'm asking a lot right now. I'm sorry. You know, I'm asking a lot, but I'm just kind of pontificating on what the whole idea behind the show was to begin with. And that was really just like blank slate. Let's just get my face out there, you know? And I feel like we're doing a good job. So I'm just very thankful for everybody. And like, you know, like, look, it's one thing to get a download, like an audio download on the day I release, but it's so awesome, like 4 days later to like get multiple downloads in one day, and you're like, fuck yeah, like somebody found it. And like, that's so cool. Like, dude, somebody found it. Somebody found the show under all of the other bullshit that they could watch, all the other shit that they could be choosing to give their attention to right now. They at least clicked on one of my shitty episodes, you know. Sorry. Kirsten told me I have to stop calling the show shitty. I know it's not shitty, but it's just like my thing. I just have to shit on myself at every moment I can. That's just like how, that's how I exist. I don't know. I don't know how else to exist other than that. So, yeah. I am very thankful for you guys. So yeah, thank you. All right, let's stop being all fucking stupid and fucking emotional and shit, man. Let's get back to the real motherfucking brass tacks of what's going on, dude. And what is going on is that I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. You guys hear that new Ye? Dude, that new Ye is fucking fire, bro. You walk into the barbershop, you're like, yo, you hear that new Ye? This motherfucker spitting, bro. And then the guy's like, hey, yo, turn it on, bro. Get on the aux. You're like, bet. You link up to the barbershop's fucking Bluetooth. You're like, and then Kanye's like, I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. That's how he said it. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. Like, I love the guy, don't get me wrong, but I think that even that was like, all right, man. Like, okay. And I still feel like people are trying to make you feel bad for like being like, oh yeah, like Kanye is great still though. Like, people try to be like, no, like he's actually not though. And it's like, what are you talking about? Are you fucking retarded? Literally? Are you actually retarded? Did you not hear the first 6 albums of this man's fucking career? And we're going to let it wash all away because he might be a Nazi. And look, man, I don't know if he's actually a Nazi. From a fan's perspective, can I give you my tea? Let me give you a sip of this tea, bro. Let me give you a sip. I think that Kanye is a egomaniac. Look, I'm saying this with all due respect, Kanye. If you're listening to this, I fucking love you, and I want to let me come on stream, bro. I could play up some fucking, you know. Yo, hey, yay, ice me out on the swastika chain, bro. Hey, bro, let me take a pic with the swastika chain, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. No, but, yay, look, yay. If you're listening to this, dude, I just want to say that with all due respect, you're a fucking crazy person. And normally I used to get mad when people would call you crazy because it made me feel like I was, okay, I'm not afraid to admit that for a large portion of my life, Kanye West was one of my idols. I'm totally not afraid to admit that. Not afraid to admit that at all. I think and that's the thing too, is that I have a hard time defending that because the things that I like about him are the things that other people, NPCs, don't like about him, which is he speaks his mind. He doesn't give a fuck about really anything. He doesn't give a fuck about really anything. And like, why I liked him was the first of all, just obviously the talent, the ability that he had, especially as a new artist when he hit the scene. I was a very young child, and I have so many core memories of like sitting in the back of my mom's 2003 Ford Focus that she literally my mom did not change the oil on that car one time, 100,000 miles on the same oil the whole time. She said she didn't know that oil had to be changed. Right. But I have fond memories in that car that eventually blew up. And, you know, a lot of them were to Kanye songs or to Jay-Z, and like a lot of that music really like kind of gave like me my personality and like informed my style, informed my idea of how you of I don't want to say of how you're supposed to be, but of what was cool at the time. It was like, bro, like I don't know. That shit was heavily influential on me as a young person. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, now he says he's a Nazi, so I can't be a fan. It's like, no, I'm still going to play the weird I Gave My Cousin Head song and listen to it and be like, all right, that was terrible. I'm never going to listen to it again. But at least I listened. At least I listened to the fact that hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We seen two N-words kissing, we ain't know what that shit mean. Like, bro, what? Immediately. And then he just goes, I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. And you're like, oh, fuck, bro. You mean to tell me that that this is the guy that made We Don't Care? You mean to tell me that this is the guy that made Devil in a New Dress? You mean to tell me this is the guy that made Gone? You're telling me this is the dude that made Lost in the World? You're telling me this is the guy? And I look, you want to know how I know that you're a terrible Kanye West fan? When your favorite song is Bound To. If your favorite Kanye song is Bound To, you're a terrible Kanye West fan. I never want to see you. I never even want to talk to you at all. I don't even want to hear your opinions on why it's a good song. Look, Bound, great song. Not one of Kanye's best songs. Musically, like in any way. In any way. Culturally relevant? Yes. Artistically good? Not so much. That's all I have to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. If your favorite Kanye song and you say that you're a Kanye fan and your favorite Kanye song is Bound, bye. Just get the fuck out of my face. I don't even have anything to say to you, honestly. I have literally nothing to say to you. And we don't care what people say. Drug dealing just to get by. Stack your money till it gets sky high. Ready? We wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Joke's on you, we still alive. Throw your hands up in the sky and say, we don't care what people say. So now I don't give a fuck. Like, you got to understand, I was 5 listening to that, yelling that in the backseat of my mom's car. So I literally don't give a fuck what people say, because that was like my anthem. I was weird though. Like, I was such a weird kid. Like, looking back on how weird I was and like even the interests that I had, or like things that like were like I think I was a very lonely kid, but I also think that me being lonely led to me being better at like connecting with people that were willing to connect, I guess you'll say. Like and I wasn't like one of those kids that like switched schools every year or whatever. Like, for the most part, I went to like the same schools and I was around the same people. There was like one time where I like switched and it like changed everything about my life. But I think that was ultimately for the better. And, you know, I genuinely feel like there's people that I follow on Instagram that I've known since I was, 4 or 5. Like, there's people that I literally follow on Instagram that I've known since I was 4 years old. And I wonder, like, I often think back to like when I knew these people in real life, right? And they were kids, obviously. So this is like, you know, they could have changed. So many terrible things could have happened to them, or good things could have happened to them that, you know, would allow them to change into what they are now. But at least for me, when I think back on like my past and like my childhood specifically, I often find myself being like, oh, like, it's a pretty explainable path of like how I ended up to like being the person that I am. I think that like, at least for me, like putting the time into thinking about like why I am who I am. I think that it's a very self-explanatory kind of situation where I was an only child to a young mom. And things were not always great, but I learned how to make the best out of the situation. And we learned how to make the best out of the situation. And I credit my mom a lot for for being able to navigate that at like such a young age. I mean, I'm 28. At my age right now, my mom had a 12-year-old. So that would be like me recording a podcast with my 12-year-old son right now, which is astonishing and shocking and crazy, but that's just what our reality was. So I feel like, looking back on my life and just like my family history and like the things, like, you know how people say like generational trauma, right? And I feel like that's a really negative buzzword. And I feel like it's a very negative idea to be putting out into the world. Sure, there's terrible things that happen to you, that happen to your father, that happen to your grandpa, that happen to your mom, grandma, sister, aunt, and uncle. But that is not an excuse for you being a shit person and just taking life laying down. Like, I think that ultimately, and look, I'm not even like a pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of guy, but really what I'm saying is like only you really truly do have the power to change your life. So if you don't like the way that your life is going and you're fed up, or you feel like you're just being walked all over by society, you're being walked all over by your employer, you're being walked all over by the IRS, by, whatever the fuck, who's your oppressor, bro? It seems like everybody right now has an oppressor. I mean, since the beginning of time, everybody has had an oppressor, and I don't know why now people feel like they get some sort of validation, or you almost get like credit for things that people 3 or 4 generations in your family ago went through, and you just get to exist in 2025 and be bi, and you're like a bi graphic designer that apparently is like Native American, but really we all can tell you're white and you're not Native American at all. You're really just from Arizona and you wear turquoise, but it's all good. And, they get to be like, oh, like, but no, I'm this way because it's just always been like this. And like, it's my family and we're all just so fucked up. And it's like, oh my God, you're exhausting. Can you take any sort of accountability for your own life? Or do you just like do you just have to suck ass? That's my only question. Do you just have to suck ass as hard as you do? Or can you actually take some sort of responsibility and accountability for your own life and your own choices? And instead of blaming the terrible results that you're seeing in your own life on the people that came before you, maybe you actually understand that most of the things that, most of the situations and terrible predicaments that you find yourself in, you are the cause of. I think maybe that's the message that we should put out there, as opposed to my generational trauma didn't teach me how to be a good dad. You want to know how you be a good dad? You be there for your kid. Obviously. Obviously. But the thing about that is like, you need to, like I said, take some accountability and some responsibility for your own life and, stop complaining about shit all the time. And look, some complaints are completely valid, and I'm totally on board for you being able to complain and, and air out and vent things that you're unhappy with in your own life. What I'm not down for is when people, you ever talk to somebody, like it's like the cliche, like the baseball coach that you had when you were younger, right? And he goes, yeah, man, like, I was really good in high school and, I had a scholarship and I almost got drafted and then I just got hurt. Nothing was in my control. And it's like, I mean, yeah, but you could have like been involved in whatever you were doing in a different capacity in some way and still, kind of followed your passion instead of being, mad because you work at Enterprise now. I think that would have been a better move maybe, is like, be a hitting coach, be a groundskeeper, be the guy that drives the fucking Zamboni in a circle and makes the dirt look all nice. I think you might have been a little bit happier if you would have just done that instead of selling fragrances at Nordstrom. And like, nobody, not shitting on anybody that like works at Nordstrom or whatever, or Enterprise car rental, but I'm just trying to think of examples here because it's like, and I caught myself doing this a couple of years ago too. Like, okay, I think I've talked to you guys about this, but I have a shitload of journals, right? I have the amount of journals that you would only have if you've been in jail for 50 years and have been, and then all you can do is write about everything. I have so many fucking journals. You wouldn't even believe how many journals I have. I have this whole fucking this whole case down here. I mean, this is just 3 of them, right? And then I have a whole nother bin down here of just straight up composition books, journals, all this different stuff of my writings. Going back to, I think, as far as 2017 was when I started journaling like consistently and kind of like trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted, as opposed to like 2017, 2018 was a huge year for me because that was the year that I finally stopped trying to force myself to be something that I wasn't. I think for those first 3 years out of high school, I was still trying to keep up the act of like, no, but like I can be a good student and like I can do homework. Come on, man, I'm in school for computer science. Like imagine me working at IBM. Imagine me working at fucking Snapchat. Imagine me working at Robinhood. They would kill me. They would literally kill me. They would kill me. They would hang me on a little cross like Jesus. I don't have the personality for that. But I was still trying to do it because, I mean, look, man, going back to what I was talking about earlier, my mom was very young when she had me. And I saw a lot of the opportunities that my mom didn't get because of the fact that she didn't have a higher education. And I felt like in order for me to make it all worth it to her, I needed to go and get that higher education. And the problem was that I was not equipped to do that, nor did I have any interest whatsoever in staying in school. But I tried. I forced myself to go for a couple of years and I tried. And I remember in 2018 was probably when this happened. It might have been 2017, but I'm pretty sure it was 2018. I finally had a conversation with my mom where I had made the transition away from school and I was working full time, but it was summer. And I wasn't held back, so I don't take summer classes, but, so I had a break, but I was working full time. And I remember I told my mom, like, I think I'm just going to work. And, leading up to this point, my mom did very good, like getting me up to the point where like we were going into college, like we were leaving high school, like junior year and senior year. And I was going on tours at universities and I was doing all this and thinking about my major. I was like emailing fucking admissions counselors at all these different schools that I was interested in, or I thought that I was interested in. And I was like very engaged in my own, like trying to make sure that I was bettering myself and hopefully eventually down the road making a better life for not only my mom, but the people that are in my life now. And it just didn't work out. And I remember when I finally told her, like, Mom, I don't want you to take this bad, but this whole time I was doing the school shit because I thought that you wanted me to. And she told me that I should never do something just because I feel like she would want me to. I need to do what I need to do. And, from that point, it still took me 5 years to grow the courage and grow the balls and muster up the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a comedian. But at the same time, it's like, it's a lot to come out and be like, I'm a comedian. Because then people are looking at you like, this fool's not even like fucking funny. Like I had this fool for like fucking geometry and like shit, I can't even count to 10 though. And it's like, like I get it. I wasn't funny to you because you have 3.5 brain cells and you fucking rotted your entire cerebral cortex away by doing Nas since the age of 14. I get it. I'm not funny to you. I get it. Go fucking watch Adam 22 videos and fucking jerk off all day. I don't give a fuck. But for the people that actually have a brain and the people that can actually understand somebody that speaks okay, I always have known that I was funny, and I think my mom knew I was funny. And, going back to, I think, I must have been 11 or 12 when the Improv had their little, they had like a kids like talent show. It was like a comedy like talent show. It was like a showcase basically. And like, if I remember correctly, it was like a comedy class that you took once a week for 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4 weeks, you got to audition in front of Jamie Assad, the guy that runs the Laugh Factory. And I didn't do it because I was afraid and I was 12 and I knew I was going to get raped because I was a child. No, but I didn't know that, but I didn't do it for some reason. Come to find out later, like years later, that same showcase was the showcase that broke Amanda Bynes. That is the showcase that Amanda Bynes did as a kid and got and got her first couple of roles as, whatever her first couple of roles were, which is crazy. Like looking back on that, and look, man, I never wanted to be like an actor, like a Disney kid or whatever. I just thought that I was funny, but I just didn't have the courage or like the confidence. I think looking back on that, if I had that it was a good idea, I think I would have done it. But I think because of the fact that it was my mom, I was like, oh, well, like, of course you think I'm funny. I'm your fucking son. Like, fuck you. I was 12. I was like, fuck you. Of course you think I'm funny. I'm your fucking son. You literally shot me out of your fucking vagina. Called it a vagina until I was like 15. The more you know. Okay. Now that I said that, I remember the first time I heard the word vagina and I did not know what it was. And it was this disgusting little kid named Ronaldo. Also, what a predator name, Ronaldo, and I was in like 6th grade and he just kept saying vagina. And we were out like in the field, like behind the basketball court. He's vagina. We were just playing soccer, vagina. And we're like, what the fuck is he talking about? He goes, dude, you don't know what a vagina is? It's a girl's private part. I still think about that to this day. You don't know what a vagina is? It's a girl's private part. That's hilarious. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. I know I'm good at what I do. I just needed to, like, tying up the loose ends of what this is. That's what the show is. The show is we're tying up the loose ends before we fucking rocket off into the stratosphere. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know I feel like I'm like I hate to be like, I'm not Babe Ruth calling his shot right now. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm just telling you that, the first person that has to believe is you. And that doesn't just apply to me. That applies to your journey. That applies to everybody that you've ever known. The first person that has to believe in anything that you want is you. Even if people tell you you're crazy, even if people are discounting you, or if people are trying to discourage you or telling you that you're nuts or telling you that you don't have the skills for it, if you deep down inside believe that you can do something, you need to get the fuck up and do it and chase it and actually go after it and not give a half-ass effort. You need to get the fuck up. This is some real Gary Vee shit. This is what Gary Vee really should be saying. You want to know why you're not successful? You want to know why you're not fucking successful? You want to know? Really? Do you really want to know? He always does that. You really want to know why you're not successful? Talks so fast because he's clearly on cocaine. I've never done drugs. Not once in my life. I've never done drugs. Okay. Clearly on coke. All good. But Gary Vee would be like, you want to be successful? You got to get up every day. You got to give it 100% effort, 100% effort every day. When you wake up, all you got to think about is money. If you don't have enough money, you got to go get more money. You got to get more money. And it's like, no, you don't. You just have to do what you want to do. And I understand life gets in the way. You need to pay your rent. You need to buy your dog food. You need to feed yourself. Your car needs insurance for some reason. I don't make the rules, I'm just kind of talking about what we all have to deal with collectively. And, yeah, I think that we're tying up the loose ends here. And that's what the whole point of the show was. And that's why sometimes it feels crazy and it feels like I'm just venting to you. And it might feel like I'm fucking, like I'm just like a manic guy in his room. And to those of you who think that, fair. I get it. Oh, something about this whole vibe gives mentally ill, right? But before you judge anybody, not just me, I don't care, judge me. I don't give a fuck. We don't care what people say. That's my anthem. So how the fuck would I care, Before you judge, though, I think you should do some very deep internal remap. You need to remap your brain. You need to rewire your entire thought process on what you're doing with your life. Look, if you're a mindless, like, fucking, car salesman guy that just like, hey man, I sold another 3 cars today. It's like, all right, bro, if all you're concerned about is more money in your pocket and you're actually not concerned with like living a fulfilling or like, valuable or impactful life in any sort of way, I'm not judging you. But what I will say is do not judge other people who are actually trying to make something of themselves, whether it's a clothing company, a podcast, a music album, a fucking, they have a taco truck. They're selling fucking, whatever the fuck they're doing. Before you start fucking sounding off and discouraging people from doing what they want to do, I think that everybody should look a little bit more inward. You got to look inward. You got to look a little bit more inward, and figure out why you're so quick to judge. Figure out why you're so quick to tell people that they can't do something that they're genuinely trying to do. And figure out why you have such a deep, dark void inside of your heart that allows you to shit on other people's goals, ambitions, and dreams, because truly you have none, and you were really just put on this earth to make more money and consume more shit. And then eventually you're going to die and realize that you wasted your entire life chasing nothing but a fake, made up currency that was created by a bunch of white men. Look, that's not a battle I'm going to have to fight any day, brother. So Godspeed. Yeah, I am going to go. Sorry, I'm going to cut this one a little bit short, but I need to go eat dinner, and yeah. So I know we were a little bit all over the place, and I really thank you guys for being here. If you're new here, my name is Robert Hernandez. The show is called Loose Ends with Robert Hernandez. You can find us on YouTube at Play Loose Ends. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, whatever the fuck, everything. You can find me on everything pretty much. And my personal Instagram is Robert Raymond Hernandez. TikTok, Play Loose Ends. Thank you guys very much for being here. I really, truly appreciate it. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. And I will be seeing you on the next one. Thank you. God bless. Bye.